because I've flown from Perth this morning, so I wasn't confident what time zone I was in. But we will take a question from each of these blocks so that we've gone across an even number of times, and then we will have to wrap it up. So I'll take the gentleman in the red shirt, or burgundy.
Good evening, Prime Minister. Dean Shaw. It might be a question for a number of your colleagues in regard to housing, health. I'm an advocate for the aged care of our society. I'm a nurse for 23 years. At the moment, we have got a closure of nursing homes statewide. The ministers are quite aware of it. As an advocate, as of the elderly people in our community, to stand up and say, don't let these old people from their homes because they made this country what it is.
We do have the aged care minister here, but the Deputy Prime Minister is rightly saying this is one for him because he and Yvette are very involved in the campaign here.
Well, you're dead right. People who've worked hard all their lives to make our country strong deserve some decency and respect in their old age. And what has happened with the people at Eventide, what nearly happened and could still happen to the people at Ashworth House, and what could happen in other state-run nursing homes right around this country is simply cruel, and it cannot be justified in any sense of decent public policy. The first point is that the Commonwealth already pays for the elderly in those state-run nursing homes. We actually pay the cost for each and every resident in those state-run nursing homes. But they want to close those state-run nursing homes for a whole variety of reasons. And one of them, I think in the case of Eventide, is they simply want to sell part of the site. So I believe that we need a grassroots community campaign to convince this state government that they've got this issue absolutely wrong. I think what we've seen from the way in which they've behaved is that they don't really react very rationally, and their decision-making processes are simply chaotic. But they're also having a dramatic impact on the lives of many people and their families. So right across the state, I think people are appalled about these decisions, and we as a community need to come together to put pressure on state members of parliament and the state government to change these decisions. That's what we need to do. And I think it can be done because back some time ago in the Borbidge government, they tried to close Eventide, and there was a very strong community campaign at that time, and that decision was reversed. This decision is not rational. It can't be justified in terms of public policy. It's bad decision making, and therefore, I think it falls to all of us right across Queensland to mount a grassroots campaign to get this decision changed.
So I'll take the lady over there. I think it's a navy shirt with striped collar.
Yes, thank you, Prime Minister. My question is for, I think, Mr. Conroy. I live in North Lakes, and within 3 kilometres of my home are 2 medical centres. When I make a phone call on my landline, one is a local call, the other is a national call. I cannot understand why. I also can't understand what happened to the STD pips that have suddenly vanished, and we now have no idea when we make a phone call what we are being charged. Where's their transparency to tell us, can we not have the STD pips back?
That is a very good question, and I'm going to be very interested in that.
I'm not sure I can bring back the pips. I've got to be honest. But the child-based system is progressively moving off the traditional switching systems into what we call the fibre network. So these are deeper in the core into your home. What the NBN is going to do is ultimately end any STD calls at all, because you'll be paying, if you were to take up a package that's available today on the NBN from a good Queensland company called Skymesh, who I met with yesterday. They are offering national calls for, I think it was 10 cents as rates. And North Lake starts construction of the NBN in the next 12 months, so you'll be able to start taking advantage of that.
Okay, we'll take a final question from this block over here. I'll take discriminate towards the front, so I'm sorry. I'll take the lady, the second row from the back. Yep, you. Thank you.
Yes. My name's Kate. I'm very concerned about the fact with superannuation, and if you look around the room, there are quite a few people here that are either baby boomers or getting towards retirement, and you reduce the cap from 50,000 down to 25,000, and you want people to be independent. Now, just a slight diversity. I've just moved into a new retirement village, and I do take a bit of umbrage, Mr. Swan, in the fact that part of Eventide was sold by Mr. Nuttall to Blue Care, and that's where I have moved into. And they were actually going to build an aged care place there. And this is where basically superannuation is to help people who, like me, who haven't been in superannuation for as long as younger people, to have a better retirement and be independent of social services.
Thank you for your question. I'll get Wayne to the answer.
Yes, well, thanks very much for your question. We're very, very big supporters of national superannuation, and it's terribly important to the future of the country and terribly important to the quality of life that people have when they retire, which is why we want to increase the super guarantee to build up the super savings that everybody's going to have. When you say that the caps have been reduced, they were actually taken down to 25,000 by John Howard. And we announced an aspiration to take them back up again, and we haven't been able to do that. So that is true, but that's where they were taken by John Howard. And it is important, and we do understand that we should be trying to do everything we possibly can to assist people to provide for their own retirement, and we'll do that within this system as we can afford to do so. So I take your point about the caps, and I do understand how important they are to many people in the final stages of their working life. And I also understand how difficult it has been for many people, given the global financial crisis and its impact on markets, that has then flowed through to many people who were very close to retirement and suddenly found that their retirement savings weren't what they thought they were going to be. So we do have a real challenge in terms of the fallout from the global financial crisis, and some challenges as to how we strengthen our superannuation system in the years ahead. And Bill Shorten is working with the industry very closely on these matters as we speak, and I'd like to be able to do more in that area, but it's simply not affordable at the moment, but I take the point that you have made. In regard to the fact that some of the land, a small portion of the land in Eventide went to Blue Care, is hardly remarkable and was probably known at the time. I know it's assumed greater prominence by some in the current debate. Common sense to have a nursing home down there from somebody like Blue Care. I'm a great believer in the community sector providing aged care. But one of the great things about Eventide, why there is such strong attachment to it, is that they do provide down there a level of care for some people who have very special challenges. Alzheimer's, for example. If you've been down there, you will see the very special care and the facilities and how they do have people there who would find it very difficult to be placed in the private sector. And the problem that we've got at the moment, contrary to what the state government has said, is that it's not easy to place frail aged people in other nursing home beds, private or community owned, at the moment across our community. Now, Minister Butler, who's here tonight, you might want to talk to, because he has put in place one of the biggest reforms of our aged care system in many years, but as with all big long-term reforms, they take time to come on board. We want to see more people able to stay home if they can, and if they can't, then we want a situation where they're not